Welcome back to part 2 of What If Deku Had the Powers of the Swamp. Yeah, so, and yeah, where we left off, yeah, the I went on a calculator thing. 7 minus 15 equals 8 years. So 8 years that they have, like, they were dating that long, yes. That's insane. Even so, they go to UA. Or actually, she goes to UA. And he decides he wants to, but actually, he could tell that the. So, he sends in a female version of himself. It is like. It is like her, like, fruit thing. But on a whole nother level. Yeah. So then, yeah. When her hair color changed into pink, as, yeah, he is the, because this is what has happened for last, like, after he got his memories taken away and everybody doesn't remember him or has no memories of him. Well, Zuko, who developed two different personalities, one male and one female. So the both sides had no memories of them, or has their separate memories. If they so, but they could see eye to eye, like could see into a person's memories. Person's memories. Yeah. So, yeah, Zuko, or yeah, the female, oh, that he sent off was called Pixie. Yeah, I tried to find a name real fast. So, Pixie is, yeah, that girl. As I'm making, so she's basically his alternate personality. As, so I'm skipping the internship, all of it, because it's in canon. And then, as they got told by, or so then, all the way to All Might versus All for One. Or actually, to the camp park. As they get ambushed by the villains. As Muscular is about to kill Koda. But Zuko, in his monster form, grabs Muscular and devours him. Like, breaks every bone in Muscular's body and devours him softly. As he looks at Koda, as Koda was standing in fear of a person, or with a monster that is of the swamp. As he says in a deep toned voice, "You shouldn't be out here, kid. Where's your cousin? Where is she? I may help you return to your family." As so Koda is like peed his pants because how terrifying he is. Yeah, everyone else would be terrifying by looking at him. Probably what you're all probably thinking. So yeah, he ends up as a young girl appears out of nowhere. And her name is Pixie. Or not. Or Pinky, should I say. Pink-haired girl. Yeah. As she says, now. Oh, no need to scare our little friend. As she took him and sees her, or his parent, or his, because on one mission, his parents weren't killed by Muscular. They were imprisoned by Zuko's or sea monster, or no, swamp monster. Yeah. So yeah, he's basically pretty dang powerful. As now it was time, as he goes back to human form. As Koda's freaking out, like, and did you see that monster? It terrifies me. What kind of monster? As a voice in the background, as a young or a male, or with a horn sticking out of his head, comes out of the forest. Yes. As she knew who he was. He was Venom. As she says, Hey Venom, what's up? Long time no see. Or, yeah, good. And to see you. And you probably met my sister. Or you all. I heard a lot of good things about um, the. You did. Or all of you did your best at the sports festival. I'm very proud of all of you. So, where's that spiky haired kid? I believe his name is Bakugo, right? Yes. Should have been. As they realized that he was gone. As as she's like, huh, can't wait mm, to see him. So yeah. So he decides, of course, actually she walks up to him and kissed him right on the lips. Yeah. As she doesn't know that he's a swamp monster. He's he's basically, I'm saying swamp monster. So yeah. So they don't, or she doesn't know that he's a swamp monster. So then he shows up as a perfect time. Aim, because All for One is about to kill All Might. As he tells them, or no, he says, no, that's just being rude. Um, to, oh, shoot a laser at someone instead of using fists. But it's your grave anyways. As All for One says, huh, the one that is they all called Venom, right? You heard about this young kid. There was a young kid that got him, or he was a quirkless, but, or he wasn't actually quirkless. He had a quirk of, it's a similar to his father's and his mother's quirk. Fire manipulation. The quirk doctor wanted to experiment on that kid to see what he will do. Because in this alternate universe, if someone has a quirk and the ability of like, or actually, not the fire manipulation, weather changer is his quirk. So yeah. So he could produce rain clouds, snow, make it sunny, and everything else. He even could create like or not frogs, like the clouds that are low kind, as yeah, and he's immune to lightning attacks, earthquakes. He's basically a walking, talking Elementor kind. But there's one thing. When Zuko, as the All for One says, that kid was too strong. So when he, so the I, or so the Quark Doctor lied to his parents about him not having a quirk. So, as what's one thing that haunts him is his old name that he gets haunted by. He couldn't sleep because he sees a young version of himself. And when Asashi heard that his son had a quirk, and when he also heard the quirk doctor lied in about his son not having a quirk, he starts like bottling up like his tears. He couldn't believe it. As he says, or as yeah, as Zuko says, is that supposed to scare me? I know that name of that kid that you're talking about. If I say, or, and it always haunts me as long as I remembered. As he says Zuko's his name, as All Might couldn't believe this kid actually knew who he was talking about. As his father says, how did he know about my son? As it was in his head. I thought it worked on everyone. And plus, there's one other thing that you didn't mention. Mention All for One. He wasn't just had it as a quirk. He actually had a swamp ability. He's a very rare. So that's why. as it annoys him more and more, as All for One says, "You're, you knew him as like your own personal friend." Huh. Usually, people like you doesn't deserve to say anyone's kids. As the pink knew what he's about to do, as she starts running, or she grabs All Might, everyone, as she says, "Everyone, please run away. He's about to do it." As they all looked at her and says, "What is she gonna do?" As when he did, like when he got angry enough, the sludge from his own body transformed him into the monster, and he puts his hand straight down. He turned the entire city into his own swamp. Yeah, as All for One says, Venom. You're the hat swamp monster that everyone talks about. As she tells All Might that once he gets angry, he transforms into that. We're in his territory right now. As everyone couldn't believe that someone or some kid had, or some monster had this much power. Yeah, even the villains, like some of the villains, ended up doing that. And or got caught in his, as they all were getting devoured. As All for One sees in horror of his own league of villains is getting devoured. As, he pulls out Zuko pulls out the minigun and starts shooting at All for One. Fast as the yeah. Yeah. It was, and I didn't even need a soundboard to make that sound. As All for One is, you know how in One Piece there's like execution one that people are on the cross and they all have like guns pointing at him. Yeah, minigun, it is like that same feeling. Shooting All for One to, out of existence. His regeneration couldn't keep up. And his immortality couldn't keep him alive long enough. So when All for One died, this is his last words. That legend stayed true, hasn't it? As Zuko says yes. As All for One wants to know what keeps him up at night. As he looks at All for One and tells him, that boy, the one that who used to try to convince someone or All Might to basically do what things, as he says, Zuko is. He's the only one that haunts me. Because I don't accept that. An old part. He turns things back to normal. He goes back to the swamp. And the Sashi Aim and the pro heroes. Or actually, the detective did some research on through the files of the court doctor's files, and Zuko's, it said Zuko, who, it says Quark, Quark, weather changer, or weather manipulator. Ability, attributes, swamp. As it read on the bottom, he was my he is gonna be my perfect swamp lord. As there was one file on the court doctor's thing, and it said Project Birth of the Swamp Lord. As when he printed all off, he shows it to the pro heroes as when they read, as when Asashi couldn't believe that it was all planned out before. So they ended up, of course, Asashi couldn't believe that he was been manipulated by a League of Villains for last let's say 11 years. Yeah, 11 years of him got manipulated by, or actually 11 years ago. As, as she hangs out with him in his swamp. And, of course, she now knows that his little secret. As she asks him about how was Zuko looked like. Well, he had green hair. Or he has green hair, green eyes, typical skin color. Or he's kind of like soccer punch thing, but the but he used to love his sister. Not has a crush on her, but loved her as a sister. And she says, yeah, then her father on her she says his father took away his like memories, memories. And yeah, so both of them are technically the same person, but they both don't accept Zuko as his or part of them. So basically, technically, it would be like, because one, Zuko lost his memory and they gave birth to two different people or slash creatures. Because he is the swamp and she is weather. Yeah. And yeah. Basically, yeah. As when she heard that, so of course she does the whole like only you might ain't be strong thing. As yeah. So everyone, all the pro heroes knew who Zuko was, or what the villain's plans were. As Ashashri, yeah, him, he starts crying as he feels like that everything is his fault. Played right into the villain's hands. As everyone calms him down, like, calm down. It's not your fault. You've been manipulated by them too. As, yeah. So, yeah. Basically, yeah. So, she decides to nickname the pink haired girl, like Pinky, the Storm. Yeah. So basically, yeah, Venom and Storm. Yeah. And some of you are probably thinking that Storm is probably from the X-Men Evolution or X-Men anything. Yeah. Well, Zuko, or actually in this one, this is what she looks like. Yeah. So both of them, really like that name. As Pinky loves that name because she's the one that like controls the storms and yeah. So, and the number 2 project that of the Quark Doctor. Sorry about that. Yeah. So Inko, or so when Asashi told Inko that because Inko heard that the son and his name, like their son, because actually Inko wasn't affected by it. So, yeah. So when she heard that and she starts tearing up, and she couldn't believe that her own son, or they got manipulated by the villains to become, yeah. So, yeah. And the project of the Quark Doctor's number 2 project that was underneath was Storm. Yeah. Because as the detective goes and confronts Venom and Storm, would that make Snake Rain? Joking again. So yeah. She ends up, or so they both. This is what, yeah. So as she is like visiting with Storm, as a detective comes and says, "Where's Venom? We need to talk to Venom." Okay, I'm right here. As as he's feeding the alligators some chunk of meat that he bought from a store. Yeah. So basically, and or not, and I keep saying Anthony, but Echo and or no, not Echo. So basically, they both went to somewhere quiet. As detective says, how did you feel about having your memories back? Can I be myself and Storm? Well, yeah, because you both don't. Because this is what he says. We both didn't like Zuko. That's why he still haunts us from. Yeah. So, you know what he did? So then, after they went back into one body, as the Hashashi gave memories back to him, as everyone starts remembering who he was. And yeah, as he is now what you see on your screen. Yeah. So they gave him other personality. But they all share the same memories. So basically, so he separates into threes: swamp, storm, and cabbage. Not really. So all three of them have, or actually, his body got changed into. So he switches around, and this is what he looks like. When, yeah. So, when she meets Zuko, she was in love with him. And she doesn't care if he was Venom or Storm or himself. She cares about him. Yeah. As, yeah, the Inko was happy to see her son back. And plus Zumi is happy that she has her brother back. Act 2. So yeah. He still transform as he tells, or actually he goes to UA. Eh? As it's like he has 3 different bodies fused together. So no matter if so sometimes he doesn't want to wake up in the mornings, but he does, or his Venom self wakes up. Yeah. So Zuko is still like sleeping inside of him. Or actually, you all might be wondering what happened to those people that he digests, or where is it? The ones that were like in his immortal dungeon. Well, he let the League of Villains out and and do that stuff. Oh, oh, and yeah, and then so Zuko, before he went to bed, he tells he told Inko that the, or actually this is what he said to Inko. Do you want to see your father back? As he spews out this man, and he, yeah, he was like, when Inko saw uh, her own father came out of Zuko's, you know, he, so yeah, both of them, like, Ashashi couldn't believe that, yeah. So, and his crew, as they're like, what happened? Ow. The, I remember trying to look for alligators to cook up. Then the next thing I remember, I'm here. What happened? As, yeah. As they started talking, they had a lot to catch up on. And, yeah. As, and this is what, yeah. So he still, like, hangs out in the swamp. And the lizards, snakes, and crocodiles, owns, they end up um um obeying him. As they see crocodile, that kind in, went down the road so fast. As as Zumi, or no, Inko knows that when every time he's up, Zuko's still sleeping inside. So yeah, as he, or as she says, "How's your rest?" When you, well, it actually is awesome. Other, it's, I actually don't have to deal with the, because every night when I was just, or when I was, or I'm still Venom, when I was used to living the, or sleeping in the swamp, I always ended up having these, like, nightmares of him begging at me for accepting who he is. It's hard. So, yeah. So he decides to split into threes. So Zuko goes to UA. Storm and Venom go to the swamp. Just to, like, chill out from Zuko. And they go back into the same body, as they still share the same memories, memory that they gain. As, or actually, Venom goes to the, actually, Venom goes to the swamp. Storm goes with Zuko. And on the other side of Zuko was none other than her. Yeah, because Zumi is slow going, Yeah. So, man, yeah. I'm skipping the overhaul, so I'm just doing this as a fill-in. So, and they are, her and Zuko got married exact same day as they graduated. So, yeah. Catch you guys, girls, later.